You were praised for being mature, praised for being quiet, applauded for not causing problems, or even for not asking so many questions a child of your age would normally ask. But what if that maturity was not strength? What if it was not survival? What if it was not being independent? What if that was neglect? And so you didn't stop asking for help because you became strong. You stopped asking because no one came, no one listened, no one noticed. There is a name psychology calls what happened to you. Pseudomaturity, which is the reason why your adulthood has turned out this way. If this already feels familiar, like and drop a comment because you are not alone in this. Now let's go back to how it all started. There's a kind of childhood that looks completely normal from the outside. You had food, you had clothes, you went to school. No one hit you. No one shouted at you every day. But something was missing. Attention, warmth, connection. And the most painful part is this. You couldn't explain it, because emotional neglect is not always about what was done to you. Sometimes it is about what never happened. No one asked how you felt. No one noticed when you were sad. No one stayed long enough to understand you. So you learned to survive without emotional support. And that survival became your personality. There was a moment when you realized something important. Not with words, not with logic, but with feeling. You realized talking doesn't help. Crying doesn't help. Complaining doesn't help. Explaining doesn't help. So you stopped. That part of your brain has to stop you from sharing your feelings. You stopped asking for comfort. You stopped expecting to be understood. And from that day forward, you became independent. But not in a healthy way, but in a survival way. And once you believe your feelings do not matter, you start ignoring yourself. People admire you. They call you strong. They call you mature. They call you independent. But they don't see the truth. You were not born strong. You were trained to be strong. You became strong because you had no choice. You learned to calm yourself. You learned to comfort yourself. You learned to carry your pain alone. And over time, that loneliness became normal. Not because you wanted it, but because you adapted to it. The ignored child rarely looks broken. You may look successful, responsible, calm. But inside, there is confusion, a quiet emptiness, a feeling that something is missing, but you don't know what. You feel disconnected from people, from joy, from yourself, and sometimes you don't even know why. Now, you want connection, but you also fear it. You want love, but you don't trust it. You want closeness, but you feel uncomfortable when people get too close. Because deep inside, you are still protecting yourself from being ignored again. So you keep your distance, not because you don't care, but because you learned that needing people is dangerous. You learned something very early. Attention must be earned, love must be earned. Approval must be earned. So you became the helpful one, the responsible one, the reliable one, the one who never complains. You learned to make everyone happy, even when you were exhausted, even when you were hurting, even when you were empty. Because the ignored child grows up believing that being useful is the only way to be noticed. And over time, you forgot how to ask for help. Every ignored child carries a silent belief, a sentence that lives in the background of their mind. It sounds like this: I am not important, or my feelings don't matter, or I have to handle everything alone. This belief becomes your identity. It shapes your confidence, your relationships, your decisions. And the most dangerous part is this: you don't question it. You live by it. Most ignored children were not raised by evil parents. They were raised by overwhelmed parents, busy parents, stressed parents, emotionally unavailable parents. Parents who never learned how to handle emotions. Parents who were ignored themselves. And without realizing it, they passed the silence down to you. Pain travels through generations until someone decides to heal. You became responsible, independent, self-sufficient. But inside, you are still that child waiting to be noticed. You struggle to relax. You struggle to trust. You struggle to express your needs. And sometimes you feel tired for no clear reason. Because carrying your emotions alone is exhausting. Healing does not start when someone apologizes. Healing starts when you understand what happened. When you realize you were not too sensitive. You were not too needy. You were not too emotional. You were ignored. And once you see that truth, you can begin to change it. You can learn to listen to your feelings. You can learn to express your needs. You can learn to value yourself. Because the ignored child does not need to stay ignored forever.